Let's get to your top story. And 11 trains are running late in the national capital on account of the fog situation, dense fog across the northwest plains. When we talk about isolated pockets of whether it's Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, all impacted due to the fog condition, air and rail traffic has been impacted. Now, Delhi is expected to see very dense fog not just today but tomorrow as well, and it's still tomorrow morning. From there on, the fog situation is likely to improve, and that's only in the amount, or it's as far as the density of the fog conditions are concerned. That is what is going to improve between the 31st and the 2nd because of a western disturbance that's likely to bring about rainfall towards the northwest plains. When we take into account the kind of visibility levels that we are seeing visibility is improved in many places as most of the fog conditions have now turned to clouds, is what the Met Office is saying. It's been mainly due to the breaking of the inversion layer in comparison to the spell that we've seen between the 25th to the 28th. So there's been a weakening as far as the lower level boundary layer is concerned, and so the upper air data of vertical temperature profiles also confirms this, and hence there will be a significant change. There will be a reduction. The intensity of the fog condition is likely to improve. Let's just take into account the kind of visibility levels we are seeing. Amritsar at 50, Patiala even worse at 25, Hisar at 50, Ambala worse at 25. So is the case in Chandigarh. Delhi today at the airport, the visibility levels coming in at 50 at the Palam airport, and within the city limits, the visibility levels coming in at 200 meters. In Uttar Pradesh, we have Bareilly as bad at 25, Varanasi and Lucknow at 50. In Rajasthan, it's Ganganagar impacted the most, then comes Churu, and Kota visibility levels are better. But when we talk about Srinagar and Jammu, there also visibility level is as bad as 25 meters. My colleague Ali went out this morning and spoke to some of the commuters and, getting reactions from people as to how they're reacting to the fog conditions, because this is going to impact their New Year plans as well.
तो कैसा है यहाँ पे कोहरा हो रहा है, कितनी मुश्किल से आप गाड़ी चला पा रहे हैं?
बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है इस कोहरे में गाड़ी चलाते हुए, दिख नहीं रहा बिल्कुल आगे का, बहुत स्लो गाड़ी चलानी पड़ रही है। कोहरे में जितना भी आराम से ध्यान से चला मिले, स्लो स्पीड में चलाएं, उतना ही फायदा है। और ज़्यादा स्पीड में ना चलाएं। सभी को मैं सूचित करना चाहता हूँ कि बिल्कुल भी स्पीड ना चलाएं।
We have my colleague Nukul joining us as well. Nukul, when we talk about the minimum temperature, it's going to hover between 7 to 8 degrees. But when we talk about the fog situation, that has improved. However, schools in Noida and Greater Noida are shut today and tomorrow owing to fog and that dip in temperatures.
Absolutely, Divya. The dense fog which engulfs the national capital region due to the cold wave in the northern and the northwest part of the country. Because of this dense fog, there are the difficulties that the flights are also facing difficulties. At the same time, what we are also given to understand that 11 trains have been running late today morning. If we talk about today's schedule, yesterday 22 trains were running late, and some of them also rescheduled. While 134 flights were yesterday delayed. At the same time, what we are also given to understand that in Noida and Greater Noida region, the schools will remain shut owing to this dip in temperature and the dense fog condition that prevails in the NCR region and adjoining areas from the national capital. We come to you from the DND, and you can see behind me Yamuna River, and the visibility of at this moment particularly is very less. You can barely see 100 meters across this where we are standing on a normal day. You could see the human settlement at Kalandi Kunj, but today the visibility is absolutely low. At the same time, what we know so far is that IMD has also issued a red alert in the national capital region, and because of that, there are major difficulties that are being facing by the people who are commuting. At the same time, Delhi Police has also issued a traffic advisory mentioning that all the precautions for the commuters need to be taken into consideration, and they have issued a traffic advisory as well that routes should be set and planned before they leave their houses and to go to their particular destinations. At the same time, they have been asked to also clean their windows and the mirrors, so that the road accidents that are we have been witnessing from the past couple of days from the expressway can be prevented. At the same time, you can see the traffic flow here at the DND is quite normal as a busy day, but the visibility here is quite less. What we are also given to understand that the 11 trains have been running late, but the department, the IMD, has also issued an advisory for dense fog, for asking the drivers to use fog lights and passengers to be updated to the schedule of the trains and the planes before they leave to their particular destination. Because yesterday we spoke to some of the passengers who were traveling from the railways. They said that they had to face a major delay, and there are 3 to 4 hours delays in the train, and some people who had a continue trains, they were also waiting for more than 5 hours. So difficulties for the passengers they are also being facing, but the density of the fog continues to remain and remain in the national capital and the northwest part of the country. And IMD has issued a red alert for the national capital, and also yellow alert for some adjoining states of the NCR.
Right, it is the holiday season. 22 trains were delayed on Thursday. 11 trains have been delayed today. 134 flights were delayed yesterday. We will keep, getting an update from Nakul as far as the flight situation in the national capital and adjoining areas are concerned. Thank you so much for joining us. Moving on to more news now, and when we take into account Ayodhya, which is gearing up for that grand inauguration ceremony, we're not talking about the Ram Temple, we're talking about the airport first, and the inauguration ceremony is expected tomorrow. The Prime Minister will be there. In the past 6 months or so, the once sleepy temple town has undergone a massive makeover, not only at the site of the temple construction, but also across the city. My colleague Tanish Punjabi gets us this ground report.
From a town dug up all over just a month ago to this, most projects nearing completion. As Ayodhya gears up for its biggest event ever, the inauguration of the Grand Ram Temple on the 22nd of January. Before that, Prime Minister Modi will be visiting the town this Saturday to take stock of preparations. Beautification work is on at the Lata Mangeshkar Chowk, which connects those coming in from outside Ayodhya to the famous Ram Ki Paidi and also the Ram Temple.
Around 40 Surya Stambs have been installed on the road leading to Ram Janam Bhoomi that goes through the Lata Mangeshkar Chowk. Now on this road, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will do his roadshow, as this road connects straight from National Highway to the Ram Janam Bhoomi, and the road has been renamed as Dharam Path.
Ayodhya's new airport with a 2,200 meter long runway will be operational early next month. The design of the airport is inspired by the Nagara style of temple architecture, and it also has carved pillars and artworks inspired by the Ramayana.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram International Airport on the 30th of December. And not just a new airport, but the city will also see a new railway station.
Renamed Ayodhya Dham Junction from just the Ayodhya Junction, the town's railway station will have new platforms, new signboards and escalators. The facade of the railway station has been built along the lines of the Ram Temple.
The new building of Ayodhya station is 144 meter long and 44 meter wide. In terms of height, it stands around 11.7 meters high and also has a green building with rain harvesting facility.
On shops and walls on either side of Ayodhya's main roads, graffiti depicting different scenes from the Ramayana have been painted. Redeveloped roads, intersections, buildings, they are all nearing completion now.
The makeover of the city is only getting faster as the date inches closer. Every corner of the city is being refurbished. With camera person Vineet Kumar Verma, Tanish Punjabi for NDTV.
Well, moving on, the centre and the Assam government will be signing a peace deal with the pro-talk faction of Ulfa this evening. This is being seen as a major success for the Narendra Modi-led central government in resolving the decades-old problem of insurgency in the northeast. What does this really mean for the people of Assam? My colleague Ratnadeep finds out.
Do you see this accord kind of addressing to those issues, core issues? Because otherwise there would still be another gap for another nationalist organization to come up.
So at the very outset, let me tell you, Alpha was born much before the Assam agitation had started. Some people have the misconception that the Assam agitation, Alpha was a product of Assam agitation. It was not. Assam agitation gave a boost to Alpha. Okay? We were very young at the time. We knew how the we have seen how the Assam agitation progressed. Now this accord, it'll, as I've said, it'll be a step forward in the right direction. I believe this accord, certain things have been spelled out, and certain things we will, for the indigenous communities, it will certainly mean a step forward in the right direction.
Ever since Prime Minister Modi took charge as Prime Minister in 2014, there have been subsequently several peace processes being signed across Northeast India. Recently we had the first valley-based organization in Manipur, a faction of UNLF, coming forward and signing an accord. The number of insurgent outfits in Northeast coming into mainstream has increased, and number of insurgent activities have come down. Do you see this as a win-win situation, and this pro-talk factions peace deal being the latest one, a big boost for the BJP politically and also for giving peace a chance in this region, peace and development?
It's certainly a very positive development. Number two, politically it's going to help the BJP. But to say that only the BJP has been responsible for this peace accords, I'll have problems in agreeing to that. So Paresh Barua has stuck to that demand. It remains to be seen. If the ice can be broken, he might come over. Secondly, the place where Paresh Barua is stationed just at the moment, it may not be very easy for him to exit from that place. It will require some very tactical moves. New Delhi will not lose anything. BJP will keep on winning elections in Assam for quite some time. So New Delhi has nothing to lose. Any organization that can go to Delhi and grab something, everything has to be welcome. All kinds of accord, all kinds of agreements. The question is to implement it soon and efficiently. So it's certainly a step in the positive direction.
Switching tracks now, the JDU National Executive meeting is expected today, followed by a National Council meeting. The JDU meeting in Delhi sparked rumours. Nitish Kumar said that these meetings take place every year. It's normal, there's nothing specific at all. They're routine meetings, is what the Chief Minister had to say, while the BJP claims that the RJD is making a power grab. This comes in the backdrop of rumours that Nitish Kumar's key aide, Rajiv Ranjan Singh Lallan, has told the former that he wanted to step down as JDU's national president. Now, at a time when Punjab has seen 11 encounters this month, the ghost of an alleged forced disappearance and murder of an acting Akal Takht has come back to haunt the state police over 30 years later. Our correspondent Mohammad Ghazali brings us this report.
The Punjab Police on an encounter spree. A dozen encounters this month of alleged gangsters and criminals. But after 31 years of the mysterious disappearance of Gurdev Singh Konke, the former Jathedar of the Akal Takht, an inquiry report by the government has come out in public to haunt the Punjab Police. The report shared by the Punjab Human Rights Organization blames the Punjab Police for wrongful confinement and falsification of records in the disappearance of Gurdev Singh Konke. Acting Akal Takht Jathedar Gurdev Singh Konke was taken in custody in December 1992. The police had said that he had escaped from their custody a few days later. Villagers had, however, alleged that Konke had disappeared and was killed by the police in an encounter. On June 7, 1998, the then Additional Director General of Police Security, B.P. Tiwari, began an inquiry into the alleged extrajudicial murder of Konke and submitted a report to the government in 1999. The report said that the cop should be booked for falsifying information and wrongful confinement. It also added that it was not believable that Konke escaped from police custody.
उसके रिकमेंडेशन तो बिल्कुल कंजर्वेटिव हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि जो एविडेंस मेरे सामने आया उनको उठाया गया है और जो उनका एस्केप वर्जन ऑफ इसका वो झूठा है।
The human rights organization has shared the report with the Akal Takht, the highest temporal seat of Sikhs, and now the Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee, the body that manages the affairs of the Sikh community, has decided to pursue the case legally.
ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਐਡਵੋਕੇਟ ਹਰਜਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਧਾਮੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਕਮ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਮਾਮਲੇ ਦੀ ਪੜਤਾਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਤੱਥ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ FIR ਦਰਜ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਆਰੰਭ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ।
The alleged disappearance and killing incident happened when the Congress was in power, while the probe was ordered in 1998 when the Akali Dal was running the government in Punjab. But the report was never made public or acted upon. The report has now come out in the public domain when the Aam Aadmi Party is in power in Punjab. But all three of them have chosen to remain silent on this development.
Punjab Police and the phenomena of encounters have a very murky past, and as long as those black spots continue, any good action will always be seen with suspicion. In Chandigarh, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Moving on to more news now, and this is regarding the cremation ceremony of Tamil actor turned politician DMDK founder Vijay Kant, who died at the age of 71 yesterday. Following a bout of illness, he had complained of breathing problems. He was hospitalized. You remember, he was in hospital in the month of November, and he was only discharged on the 11th of December. But in the last 24 hours, he was unwell again. He had been detected with COVID-19. A cremation with full state honours is expected in Chennai this evening. The mortal remains have been kept at the island grounds for public viewing. Well, welcome back. Let's get you the latest from Qatar, where 8 ex-Navy personnel sentenced to death by a Qatar court in October will face a commuted punishment. A huge relief for their families and for the country. Several of them are highly decorated military personnel who once commanded Indian warships and were working for a private firm providing training and related services to Qatar's armed forces. The Indian government has said that it is in close touch with the legal team as well as the family members to decide on the next steps. My colleague Vishnu gets us the details.
They were sentenced to death, and that is no longer the case. That death sentence has been commuted. But the process now is difficult. From what we have learned, they face very extensive, long jail terms, and these jail terms are different for each individual. We are waiting to get more clarity on that, other than the fact that the family is telling us that they are very, very substantial jail terms. So they are going to appeal that. They are still hopeful that the Emir might actually remove all the charges, grant them a pardon, all of them, and hopefully get them back to India. But that process is going to take time. Before that, there is another process of appeals in one more court. It's only after that that the Emir can begin proceedings or decide to involve himself. Whether he does so or not is anybody's guess. It's great news that they are no longer facing the shooting squad, as it were. But whether they, come back to India, whether this is actually lifted, is something we'll have to wait and see. Now, there is another important aspect here, that India has an agreement with Qatar whereby they can actually be brought back to India to serve their jail terms as well. Is that something that is being explored? We don't know right now. But one final point, the process of further appeals will be about 3 months before the Emir can be involved. And that is the hope, of course, of the families and so many in India. Remember, the Prime Minister reached out to the Emir of Qatar on the sidelines of the United Nations Summit on Climate Change recently in Dubai as well.
Switching tracks now to the United States, and Maine's top election official has removed former President Donald Trump from the state's 2024 primary ballot in a shock decision based on the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban. Maine Secretary of State paused her decision pending a potential appeal in the state court, which Trump's team has said that they intend to file. The decision makes Maine the second state after Colorado to disqualify Trump from office after the Colorado Supreme Court handed down its own stunning ruling that removed him from the ballot earlier this month. And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. We'll be back with a whole lot more.